Okay, let's look at these right-angled trig, or bit of a revision of trigonometry in year 11 and 12. So you've got right-angled trig, sine, cos, and tan, sine opposite over hypotenuse, cos adjacent over hypotenuse, and tan opposite over adjacent. One of the things that you need to be able to do is these questions, angles of depression. It's really only one step, one very small step above angles of elevation. But it's a case of how would you draw that picture from the top of a cliff 40 meters high? A boat has an angle of depression of 34 degrees. How far is the boat from the base of the cliff? So where would that 34 degrees go? So hopefully you understand that the 34 degrees goes here, outside of the triangle. Now, then there's a couple of ways you can do it. You can say, okay, if this is 34, then this is 34, because you've got alternate angles and it becomes just a normal question. Or you can say that if this is 34, this is a right angle. So up top is 56. It doesn't matter which way you do it. What you'll get is, if you do it like this, the tan of 34 is 40 over x. If you do it this way, you get the tan of 56 is x over 40. Exactly the same answer as you would assume, 59.3. Hopefully you can do all that on the calculator. The next thing you have to be able to do really, really well is bearings questions. A boat travels on a bearing of 260 degrees for 12.4 kilometers. How far south has it traveled? So the first thing you need to be aware of is, where would this 260 be? Remember, north is 90 degrees. So east out this way is, north is 0, east is 90, south is 120, and west here is 270. So all the way around to 260 is all the way around here. So again, once you've drawn the picture, then it's a matter of, okay, we know this is the 12.4. What's this angle? It's 10 degrees. And this is what we're trying to find, how far south. Now, you may have drawn a different triangle. You may have drawn this triangle in here. And this is your x. It doesn't matter. This angle obviously would be 80 degrees then, because this is a right angle. You get exactly the same thing. What have we got here? If we use this, what is it? Opposite over hypotenuse, the sine of 10 degrees equals x over 12. And then what do? We just bring the 12.4 up. So x equals 12.4 times sine 10, and we get 2.15. If you've done it the other way, that would be fine. You would just get, I think it's the cos of 80 is x over 12.4. You get exactly the same answer. The next thing we'd have to do in this whole revision is non-right angled trig. Now, remember these formulas. The first question perhaps that you should ask yourself is, do I need to remember these formulas? And the answer is no. They are on the formula sheet. Use it. Every year, HSC markers say people wrote down the wrong formula because they didn't use the formula sheet. So make sure you use the formula sheet. So the big thing is which one of these do you use in each case? So here's a little activity perhaps. Given these 4 shapes or 4 triangles, which would you use for each one? So here we've got 3 sides and an angle. Here we've got 2 sides, 2 angles, etc. Which formula would you use? So maybe if you want to stop the video and just quickly figure out, okay, which ones would I use? And then we'll go through them. So in this one, the way I look at it, if it involves 2 angles, I use the sine rule. If it involves 1 angle, it's a cos rule. So here, and that's in alphabetical order: CS, Catholic school, cos rule, sine rule, 1, 2. So if it's got 1 angle, I use the cos rule. If it's got 2 angles, I use the sine rule. So 1 angle here, I'm going to use the cos rule. And because we're finding an angle, we would use the one that is about angles. Here it is, cos A equals B squared plus C squared minus A squared all over 2BC. And the only thing you have to remember is that this is your A squared. B and C doesn't really matter, but this is your A squared because it's opposite. So one angle, cos rule. Here, two angles, straight away use the sine rule. Two angles, sine rule. Sine alpha over 26 equals sine 65 over 18. Nice and easy. Here, what have we got? We've got two angles again, so it's the sine rule. X over sine 68 equals 17 over sine 38. And then it's a matter of how do we do it from there? But this activity, all I wanted you to think about is which formula would you use? Once you've got the formula, it should be a bit easier from there. And the last one here, we've got one angle, so it's a cos rule. Catholic school, CS, 1, 2. 1 is for cos, 2 is for sine. So what would this be? X squared equals 10 squared minus 6 squared minus 2 times 10 times 6 times cos 38. And hopefully you'd be able to get them. So that was a nice revision of all those little things. Thanks.